Hello, all. The significance of suffering. There is great significance to suffering, and we have to understand this. Why do we suffer, and why do we run away from our suffering? Because we've been trained to? Because we've been indoctrinated and conditioned to run away from any perceived threats of danger? Anything that doesn't feel good? Anything that we deem or our thoughts deem as dangerous or going to trigger anything that's going to remotely get us to look at ourselves and look at our pain and our trauma and our shadows? Why do we run away from our suffering? It's unavoidable because we don't want to face ourselves, because we don't want to face what's taking place inside of us. The hell that is burning brighter and brighter as the days go on. The hell that is burning brighter and brighter each and every single day within us, individually and collectively. We don't want to see that. We will do anything it takes to not see and to not admit that we are wrong in our behavior, that we don't have this happening inside of us. We put on endless, pounds of makeup and masks and covering ourselves up with suits and ties and all this stuff. Constantly projecting this smiling face, this smiling figure, to hide away the fact that we are miserable and we are so embedded in such deep pain and guilt and jealousy and fear and suffering. And we'll do whatever it takes to not allow people to see that and not point it out. And we'll talk about anything and everything besides who we are and what's taking place here inside of us. This whole entire world is set up to distract us from that. And that is the primary thing that society wants to distract us from, is us, is what is taking place in here to keep us from doing that shadow work. Why? Because if we do the shadow work, we're that much closer to who we are. We're that much closer to reclaiming our power, to reclaiming our energy, our life force, our prana. They can't have that. The system can't have that. The system cannot control somebody who controls themselves. The system cannot manage somebody who is unmanageable, is out of control. Someone who's out of control, as in, AKA, a self-responsible human being. The system can't control that individual. We need suffering, though. We need to face our suffering. We need to use our suffering. We need to learn from the fire, learn from the flame, and learn how to transmute the flame to benefit all, to benefit each other, and then teach other people how to do so. Teach other people, hey, that suffering that you have, that you're hiding away from, and you're hiding away deep inside of yourself and you're unconscious, you need to face that. We need to point it out to one another and then help them to face it. And we can't do it for them. We can't do this work for anybody, but we can surely point it out to people. And then we're hands off. It's all you now. We can point to the door and say, there's a door in here. In this dark room, there's a door in here. You got to find it. And we're only ever going to really, really come back into what we are and really, really make a true impact on this planet only if we face our inner turmoil, our inner angst and anxiety and depression and remorse and everything. The shadow. Our individual and collective shadow, we must heal if we are to make any real impact on this planet. We have to stop thinking in separation. That's the ultimate root of suffering. Thinking that we are separate from our thoughts. Therefore, we are separate from everything. Our thought is governing our experience. Most of us, our thought is completely governing our experience. And we objectify everything in thought. We see everything as a thought in our head. I see a tree, I see it as the tree in thought. I see you, and I see you as a thought. Why? Because we've been trained this way. We have to snap out of it. We won't be able to snap out of it until we face what is blocking us from being able to snap out of it, which is facing our own stuff, facing our own demons. And completely embracing the shadow, just merging with it, completely merging with it, and stop neglecting it and separating yourself from it. Stop separating yourself from suffering. You are suffering. If we can realize that once I realize that I am suffering, therefore, there is no more suffering. If we can realize the fact and understand that the pain that we feel, the trauma that we feel, it is us. As soon as we come into that reality, it dissipates and dissolves. The solution lies in the problem. The solution is through our suffering. It is what sharpens our blade. It is what makes us what we are here on this planet, in these bodies. It's what brings us to realizations. It's what brings us to heightened realizations about certain dynamics taking place here, about ourselves and the world. We need suffering. We need suffering, or else we're not living. So use your suffering and stop running away from it. Use it, face it, and understand its significance in your life.